Hello everyone, this is Caede, your guide. I hope you are enjoying the scenery of old Japan. The Takayama Jinya was an institution that was responsible for the politics of the Hida region in the Edo period. In the Edo period, there were more than 60 buildings like this in Japan. But now only one still exists, and that is the one here in Takayama. The Edo shogunate, knowing that the Hida region is abundant forest and underground resources such as gold, silver, copper, and lead, decided to control the area directly in 1692. Then, during the 176 years until the Meiji Restoration in 1868, 25 deputies were sent from Edo to run the government from this camp. In the Edo period, there were about 40 deputies who moved from place to place in Japan. They were similar to the modern-day businessmen in Japan. Being a deputy governor was a sign of success, so many of them were very capable. There are two separate areas, one where administrative, financial, police, and other political affairs were conducted, and the other is a private area for deputies' family. From after the Meiji Restoration until 1969, the Jinya was used as a local government office like a city hall today. And that's how all the buildings remained without being destroyed. And now, after 2 billion yen of restoration work, it is once again in the condition that it was in the Edo period. Hooray! First of all, I'll show you the rooms where administrative and other political affairs were conducted. Let's go! Omotemon, the main gate which can be seen from the outside, was built in 1832 and is still intact. At the entrance, there is a lantern with hollyhock, the coat of arms of the Tokugawa family. Inside the gate, on the right side, you can see the place where the girls used to be. There are as many as 7 entrances in the government area of the building. There used to be different entrances for different statuses. It was strict. It also has a Tokugawa coat of arms. This entrance and the hall were only available for use by deputies and junkenshi, who were sent from Edo to inspect the premises. The entrance was built at a lower level than the other entrances so that high-ranking people could visit in palanquin and directly enter the building. You have to take care well of your high-ranking people. The wave-like pattern in the tokonoma or alcove is called seigaiha, which has existed since the Heian period. This pattern became popular during the Edo period, and the continuous blue waves represent the prosperity of your descendants, as well as a wish for everlasting peace. It is said that this entrance hall was decorated with the hope that the Tokugawa shogunate would last forever. This pattern is also applied to the sand before you go up the entrance, so don't forget to look at that later. When you look at each room, pay attention to the edges of the tatami mats. Since the Edo period had a strict status system, the type of edge of the tatami mats was determined by the status of the person using the room. It was similar to the caste system in India. Tatami mats with patterned edges were for rooms used by deputies. Black edges were for rooms of local officials, and the rooms with no edged tatami mats were for people of a lower status. There were a grand total of 12 toilets, and which one you'd use would depend on your status. In those days, human excrement was used as a fertilizer. It is said that because people of higher status often ate more nutritious food, their excrement would contain more nutrients and was therefore sold at a higher price. Interesting, isn't it? This is an onyakusho, a room where high-ranking officials, deputies dispatched by the shogunate, conducted their affairs. Since it was a room for high-ranking officials, the edges of the tatami mats have patterns. The goyoba was the office of local officials and vassals of the Kanamori clan. The edge of the tatami mats is black. In this northern oshirasu, facing the onyakusho and goyoba, interrogations and trials of civil cases, such as land boundary disputes and money lending and borrowing, were held. Those being interrogated and those being sentenced were standing downstairs. Also, appeals and wishes from the people were heard here. Even today, these windows are all opened and closed manually. Takayama's master craftsmanship shines through here. As once they are closed, they can't be opened from the outside. It's a great thief repellent. This is Takayama technology at its best. In the front, there are 3 rooms called tsumesho, the temple room, the town official room, and the town clerk room. Each room has its own entrance. The temple room is the office of the monk. I wonder why there was a room for the monk in this government office. At the beginning of the Edo period, a ban on Christianity was issued. The people were forced to become a parishioner of one of the temples and had to receive an identification from their temple. This was also a document to prove that they were not Christians. Temples kept a ledger similar to today's family register, and when people traveled, moved, got married, etc., the temple would issue a certificate. Because of this kind of work, there was also an office for the monk in the camp. If you look up a little, you can see nail covers in the shape of a rabbit. In Japanese houses such as castles, houses of high rank, temples, etc., you can see various shapes of nail covering to hide nails. In the jinya, a rabbit nail cover is used. Can you guess why? The rabbit was considered a lucky animal because it tends to bear many children, and at the same time, it was thought to have the power to protect us from fire. It is also said to represent the desire to listen to the people with big ears and to conduct good politics. Other than that, it may have been used as a reminder that if you speak ill, there is always an ear somewhere, and you will be found out. Or so they say. There are 150 rabbit nail covers, so look out for them. After leaving the temple room and passing through the entrance reserved for local officials, you will find the tea room. This is where simple meals were prepared for the officials, and tea was served. The people who worked here were of low status, so they don't have tatami mat edges. In the middle, there's the hearth. By moving the slanted fish, you can adjust the distance of the kettle from the fire. The section of bamboo from which the kettle hangs is an odd number 5. Why? Since an even number such as 2 or 4 can be divided by 2. This signifies the end of prosperity because divided also means destroyed in Japanese. So an odd number is used here. At the back of the tea room is the kitchen, where the stove is located inside and not on the earthen floor, because it was used to prepare food for high-ranking people. The status system is also evident here. And finally, the Shurakubeya room. This is a room where they made the documents that were to be sent to the Edo shogunate. At the back of this room, there is a restroom for officials. Looking at the picture, can you guess which way to sit? The side with the handle is actually in the direction of your behind. This is because they used to put the hem of their kimono over the handle to do their business. And what they used instead of toilet paper is wooden boards. In addition, they also use straw. We are spoiled with modern toilets now, but in the past, they used very harsh toilets. In the late Edo period, toilet paper started to be used. It was recycled paper, just old paper with charcoal and other materials that was beaten and rinsed. It seems that the common people used it too, but they had to bring their own every time they went to the bathroom. However, it was not free and it cost 15 yen per sheet, so it could not be wasted. The garbage man even bought used paper and reused it. They were quite the recycling city in Edo. Now we are going to the part of the deputy's private mansion, but that's for the next video. In addition to the mansion, we will also show you the Great Hall, another courthouse, and the storehouse.